Hello, Brian Mast. I am Joseph, one of your constituents. We have some issues we'd like to see if you could address with us, maybe on Facebook or some other way. The first issue is the executive order to change the 14th Amendment was so grossly unconstitutional that the 40-year judge appointed by Reagan asked, "Where are the lawyers?" He was baffled that anyone that passed the bar exam would think it was constitutional. And that's the problem, is that it was so grossly unconstitutional that it just shows disregard for the Constitution whatsoever. The second issue was the implementation of Schedule F on day one as well. It's yet another unconstitutional executive order, in this case attempting to overturn congressional law, which he does not have the right to do. And the law he wants to change is he wants to make it so he can hire loyalists at the policymaking level in the federal government. And there is a lawsuit against this. And what the lawsuit says is we used to do this in the 1800s. It was called spoil system, where every time the election changed, new federal employees were hired, and it was extremely corrupt and inefficient. And that's one problem we have, is going back to something like that is one issue. And the disregard, the once again blatant disregard that the president thinks that he can use executive orders to change long-standing congressional law. And the reason we have Schedule F is because it's directed by the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation gave Ronald Reagan a mandate for leadership that he implemented 60% of in his first year. And that's in the intro of Project 2025, which is the mandate for leadership for Donald Trump, which he is also implementing to the exact letter. And a lot of us constituents said, hey, look at Schedule F. We were told it was a boogeyman, but now we're having a court case about it. We were also told that when we said, look, page 351, it says right here, Department of Education shut it down. The very first mission statement is to shut down the Department of Education. We were told that's ridiculous. He already did it. He has already put forth the motion to attempt to shut down the Department of Education. Even if it's not successful, it shows he is following the mandate from the Heritage Foundation exactly to a T. Virtually every executive order has a page number in Project 2025. It is Reagan all over again. It is completely undeniable. So the problem that a lot of us have is the Republican Party didn't put the 920-page manual as this is what you're voting for. They said this is not what you're voting for. They said, I'm not Project 2025. That's not me. But now, when it's being implemented to the letter, where are you? Is it you? That's the problem we have with Project 2025, is the denial that it's happening and the lie where you said it wasn't what you wanted and now it is. The other problem we have is it is literally large corporations and extreme right-wing think tanks that are writing policies that read such as, we want to remove all references to gender, gender identity, reproductive care, reproductive health from every legislation, contract, law in the entire country. That's how extreme the Project 2025 plan is. And the project is following this corporate-made extreme agenda to the letter. We have a problem with that. We don't want our government having a mandate by large corporations for everything they do. Why did we bother to vote if he's not representing me and he's not representing the people that voted for him, and the only people he's representing is the Heritage Foundation's mandate? He's doing that full time right now. What about us? We matter too. Us constituents, we matter. And that's what we want you to address. Do we matter? Are you going to address any of this? And the final straw, the reason that we're making this video an open letter to you, is your Republican administration created a new department and put the richest man in the world in charge of it, and allowed a person in a department that has not been approved by Congress, who has a title of special federal employee or something along those lines, and he has the power to go into one of our Treasury departments with 5 kids and hard drives and demand root access and take all of our source code and information and put it onto hard drives and run off with it? When did that become by the people for the people? Where is the Justice Department? Where are you? Right now, your sign says Brian Mast, House of Representatives. You were supposed to represent us. And until you start representing us, it's going to be Brian Mast. And when you start looking at some of this and addressing it and not being a toady for the president, then you can get the word representative back. Because last time I looked at your website, the very second issue you had was, we're really sorry about the plane wreck. Our first order of business is to get qualified people. That is your top priority on your Facebook page. Send your message out to your constituents, is that the minorities and the veterans and the women that make up our DEI hires are incompetent. When the president was asked, how come you think it's DEI? He said, it's common sense. In what context is it common sense that minorities and veterans and women are the problem? We're going to fix it. Is there any other way to look at that? And you're following that up on your Facebook saying that's who I am too. Is that who you are? Is that who the Republican Party is? You're not representing us. You're not representing the American people. You're not representing the U.S. Constitution. When you allow your party to run roughshod over our Constitution, our congressional laws, all the norms in the system, and you just let it happen and repeat that, I'm so disappointed I could cry. And that's all I have to say.